For this project, we're going to be inspired by the artist Rob Foote that we just talked about. So here are a few examples that we just looked at. The crab apple, combine an apple and a crab. We have popcorn, where you can find combined a rabbit and popcorn, and then crocodile. So he combined pickles and crocodiles. You're going to be combining a food item that you want, any food item, and an animal that you choose. You're going to do what he did and take characteristics from each animal to create a new creature, some hybrid of sort. Your new creation must be recognizable as both the food and the animal. So you can't have your viewer be guessing. You have to actually think through what you want them to notice about each characteristic. So the requirements, for time's sake, I'm going to have you read through these when you are done, but it talks a lot about combining the animal, combining the food, creating a creative name, and a lot of colored pencil techniques, because you are going to be using colored pencil for this project. So, what are you going to do first? You need to think about what you're actually going to combine. So, for my example, I combined a pomegranate and a squid to make a pomesquidit. Um, Obviously, that's the obvious choice. So, I drew out what I wanted to have, what I wanted to choose. So here I drew a pomegranate first. I didn't take my time to draw all the seeds because that would get very tedious, but I have the actual exterior of the pomegranate. I have a few characteristics so that it looks recognizable. And then I also looked at the characteristics and I took notes. So that's something that I can do to use when I'm combining the animals and the fruit in the future. I did the same for the squid. So I took notes on a squid. Um, I added some details and I just analyze what a squid looks like and different characteristics. This is going to fill half of a sketchbook page. Once you have your animals picked and drawn, then you're going to move on to combining them. So you're going to sketch 2 to 3 variations of your creature, so 2 to 3 different options of how you can combine them to create something new. You must use an equal amount of characteristics in each object and do not replicate the given object exactly. Get creative. So don't just do your first pick. I want you to brainstorm and I want you to think about different ways you can combine them. You can see I made notes here. It's like not enough of this is not enough squid. That one doesn't really look like a squid. It looks more like a pomegranate. This one here doesn't look like it's enough pomegranate and it looks too much squid and just kind of odd. And then this one, I decided to include the tentacles from the squid. I have this detailed here from the pomegranate, and then the exterior is going to be colored like a pomegranate as well. Then what you're going to do is you're going to create an environment around your creatures. So this is where we're going to pull a little bit from that Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. Where does your creature exist? Does your creature exist in the food world or does it exist in nature? Where might they live? What would it eat? What exists around it? So you can look into that or just get creative or just get goofy with it. This is also going to need to be colored and shaded in, so do keep that in mind. And when you are creating environment, make sure to keep your animal front and center. Your animal is going to be the main focus. You're going to create one finalized sketch, make it fill a sketchbook page or a scrap piece of paper, where your animal is fused into their environment and it must be the main focus. Once you have that done, your final sketches need to be approved to move on to the nice paper because the nice paper is a little bit more expensive. On here, you're going to lightly sketch your creation onto your nice piece of paper. Again, just a reminder, even though we just did color pencil, you need to draw very lightly so you don't have any marking coming through on your colored pencil, and you need to fill the page. Then you're going to apply color. So we just went over some colored pencil techniques. You're going to apply all of them here to your animal and to the area around it. Make sure that you are using proper colored pencil techniques, layering with that darker tone first, having a variety of pressure, and just creating an overall value. This needs to look somewhat realistic or as realistic as this animal could be. And I'm not done with my example yet, but I will show you my example once it is finished, and it will be on this following slide. Some colored pencil tips that you've already kind of just gone through is to start with light pressure, work your way dark. You need to layer, start with the darker colors using lighter pressure, and then use lighter colors using heavier pressure on top. Always keep your pencil sharpened because you like nice crisp edges, and then adding a complement will make the color appear darker. So those are all things to keep in mind. Have fun.